My name is Taína Caragol, and I'm curator of painting and sculpture and Latino art and history at the National Portrait Gallery. Luisa Capetillo was arrested while walking on the streets of Havana, Cuba, on July 24, 1915. She was arrested for wearing men's clothing. This included pants, a jacket, a tie, and a hat. On the spot, she was taken to a court of law, and the policeman said to the judge that he had arrested Capetillo for the scandal she had caused for wearing those clothes. She said she had walked through the streets of Puerto Rico, Mexico, and the United States while wearing pants without being arrested, and that pants were more comfortable than skirts and also more appropriate to the role of women in society then. In her native Puerto Rico, Luisa Capetillo is remembered as the first woman who wore pants. However, as a Puerto Rican myself and a curator of Latino art and history, I know there's a lot more to her story. I like to remember her for the trailblazing feminist she was, and also for being a union leader. She organized workers in Puerto Rico, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic, and she advocated for Latino communities in Florida and New York. Luisa Capetillo was born in Arecibo, Puerto Rico in 1879. And although their means were limited, she had access to major works of literature from early in her youth. So she read the novels of Leon Tolstoy and Émile Zola. Capetillo lived through a period of great transformation in Puerto Rico. In 1898, 400 years of Spanish colonialism ended as the United States won the war against Spain and claimed Puerto Rico as a territory. This brought incredible change, economic change and political change to Puerto Rico. It expanded the sugar and tobacco industries in the hands of foreigners, and the workforce also expanded. This period also saw the massive entry of women into the workforce. The labor movement also grew. Luisa Capetillo became a labor organizer, and in 1905, she organized a strike of sugar workers. She worked with the Federación Libre de Trabajadores. Luisa Capetillo became a professional reader for tobacco workers, and this tradition of reading to the cigar workers made of them the first educated working class of Puerto Rico. Capetillo was an anarchist and a socialist. She believed in the fair distribution of wealth among all sectors of society. She was also a suffragist, and as a suffragist who was involved in labor struggles, she believed in suffrage for all women, not just educated women. Luisa Capetillo was also a writer. She wrote 4 books, and her 1911 Mi opinión sobre las libertades, derechos y deberes de la mujer is a cornerstone of Puerto Rican and Caribbean feminist literature. Between 1912 and 1916, Capetillo traveled organizing workers and creating a movement of Spanish-speaking workers that advocated for fair wages and for adequate living and working conditions. At a time when women were subservient to men and limited by religious and moral standards, Luisa Capetillo broke the mold through her writings and through her lifestyle. Yes, she is remembered as the first woman who wore pants in Puerto Rico. However, this was much more than a fashion statement. She wore them out of choice and as a purposeful statement on women's rights. In 1922, she died of tuberculosis. Her memory lives on as a woman who lived what she preached. Our Latina history is American history.